Hey gang, welcome back. It's I, Dr. Bosky, and I thought tonight I would share with you an advanced state-based animation system that you can kind of do in Shmup Creator. So first of all, let me just show you what we got. That's a lot of audio. Let's turn that off. All right, cool. So what we have here, when I press a button, I have basically the boss. Yeah, big boss boy, right? And say you want the boss to move to a new spot after it takes a certain amount of damage, or if kill a certain amount of enemies, or whatever it may be. And so you can see now I've moved it forward, and the next dot is going to be down and then back. You could set up as complicated as you want. You could have it on its own kind of waypoint spline system if you want. So like you could essentially do something where you have I don't know, like you just have him bobbing up and down like this, right? But you want him to be able to move, so you could do something like this. So now he's bobbing and you're fighting him, oh my god, and then he moves forward and then down and then back. Okay, so how you achieve this? All right, so it starts here. We have a couple things. So one is I hooked up, pardon me, I hooked up basically an enemy. What I recommend is that when you make these helper enemies, these are just sprites, and they're the enemy entity, but you use them for scripting, right? That's why I've written on the sprite itself what they do. So this one's a bool, and I always make sure that I turn off delete the collision. So because even if you make them invisible, the player can still collide with them. They can still take bullets. So, and then we also have another one called the dummy movers. And as you may or may not know, basically a dummy mover is when you attach an enemy to this enemy. When this enemy moves, the attached enemy moves with it. All right. So in order to create stateful transitions, you can only set it up one way. And I always forget. So I'm going to walk you through what this looks like. So basically we have these bool conditions. These are just saying, hey, when I have some logic happen, I kill the bool enemy because it's true at this point. And then we have a trigger, and the trigger is connected to entity state is all dead. And then we have a dummy mover, and then another dummy mover. And that's pretty much it. So I'll just show you here, and then we'll get into the most important thing in a second. So this is just my little test hardness. So when I press the enter key, you can see here that the bool condition was killed. The dummy mover moves up, and the attached entity is here. And then if I do it again, you can see that this enemy moved to the left, and the next one is going to be down here, and that'll move down. So I think, yeah, so down, and then the last one is back to the right. So. And as you can see here with my dummy movers, so if I go to waypoints, so this one is up, this one is left, this one is down, this one's right. Okay, cool. Now the most important thing here, and it's quite helpful, is so I basically just put this guy here. It makes it easier to see. So I have him, you don't need him attached to this. This is just so you guys can see something fun. But the important thing here is notice how the linkage is. So the thing you want to move has to be the last in the chain. Otherwise, what happens, and this is important, is when an entity is set to not be awake, then all of the attached entities will also not be awake until you've woken the hidden enemy, the unawake enemy. So you can see that represented here. So here, so being the enemy is attached to this guy. This guy's over here. This guy's over here. And you can see the linkage here, right? And just so you guys know, it's like this. Here we have in the enemy panel, we have settings. And then you have the enemy can be attached to another enemy. I can detach it. And so you click the attach there, and then you have your little chain with your anchor. Boom, there you go. So that's all you need to do to set that up. If you don't set it up this way, then it won't work. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. I want to keep this short and sweet. If you have questions, let me know. Andy, I see you out there. Hopefully this will help you out as well. And again, maybe just at the end here, So what you have, right, is at the most basic sense, you don't even need necessarily bool enemies. You just need triggers, and then you need linkage, right? So again, this whole so you can see this is attached to everything here, right? So you need to have them all attached this way, right? Which is, this is your root node. It needs to be awake. It needs to be awake, alive. So you can see here. Here, let me. And also, by the way, you have an invisible checkbox. Boop. There you go. So, is that right? Is that right? Did I mess that up? Oh no, because that's not awake there. That's right. Okay, so think. Here it is. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll make this guy visible. And you'll notice here that it basically wakes up, shows that it's there. And so that's why I'm kind of showing you that what you need to do is have the attached entities all attached in this kind of order, because it won't work otherwise. So it starts with this guy up here. I think this guy here. Yeah. So this guy gets woken up, and when he wakes up, what happens is that he will say, cool, I have a waypoint, which is this guy here. That's why he goes up. And then, by the way, because now that I'm awake, then this one will wake up, and this one will wake up, because these are all attached up to this. And this guy's attached there. So the general rule of thumb is you have to have an anchor point. It's kind of weird because it's almost like the reverse of what you think. So this all starts down here with essentially, is it down here in terms of linkage? Yeah, it's down here for linkage. So is that right? Let me take a look. No, it's there. That's right. Yeah, there. Okay, yeah, because you can see here, right? Basically, the thing is what you need to have the attached anchor point enemies, then to say, hey, I'm attached to this new enemy. The enemy wakes up, and when that enemy wakes up, it will have its new waypoint, and then it says, cool, everything that's attached, it needs to move, because that's the new parent. So in general, that's why I was showing this down here. So this is actually kind of my parent node, if you will. And so you can build, as long as you start with your parent node, you can build as many of these nodes as you want to create advanced movement behavior. Woo! All right. I will talk to you later. Thank you.